Hi, folks. Welcome back to Pop Out Fizzle. I'm Jeff.
I'm Heidi.
And we are back with the Haunting of Bly Manor. Now, if
Yay.
you joined us on episode 1,
Thank you.
thank you, first of all. That's great. But also, we got to get a feel of this new series. And it really is a new series. I mean, we can call it season 2 of
The Haunting
the
of.
Haunting anthology thing. But really, it's its own story. We did get to see some familiar faces playing some new characters, but yeah, we got introduced to the main sort of plot. How do you want to recap just briefly what you recall?
Okay, American.
Here's a hint: Grover is not in it.
Grover's not in it. No, sorry. Okay, so
Nor
we
is
have
Super Grover.
anyone else you want to say who isn't in it?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of people not in it.
Okay.
Okay.
So.
Yeah.
Okay. So we had an American school teacher who moved to London to answer an ad to be an au pair.
Au pair.
An au pair to a couple of children in a little a great good house, a stately manor out in the London, the English countryside.
Yep.
Crazy hijinks ensue.
Yes, we got to meet 2 children, Miles and
Flora.
That's all right. And Miles is a little inappropriate, a little creepy.
Yep.
I don't know what my voice did there. A little Stewie Griffin.
Okay. And Flora is perfectly splendid, except when she's pissed off about something.
Right. We also know that she's probably seeing
Ghosties?
the ghost of their former au pair.
Possibly.
Most likely. We also saw some muddy footprints. We saw someone in a pandemic doctor's beaky mask.
Yeah. We know the housekeeper eats nothing.
Which is odd.
A little weird.
We also know that the driver / cook looks strangely like Ezra Bridger. That's weird. No, I'm kidding. You know why I'm saying that, yes?
He's the one that they're thinking.
He's the actor that people keep thinking. Okay. Yes. Anyway, just pay no attention to us. We're having our own fun over here. So it was an interesting setup because we got kind of all the chess pieces on the board before things start moving. We do know that the Haunting of Bly Manor is more of a gothic romance and less of a horror
sort of thing,
at least in the typical sense of the word. I'm sure there will be some chills. I'm sure we will have our geese bumped and our spines tingled at some point, but possibly not to the same level or with the same approach that we got from Hill House, which is good.
Yeah, no, I mean, I would absolutely want this to be something unto itself. I don't want like a repeat Hill House. I definitely do not. I will be frank and honest. I did watch this episode one more time just to make sure.
The last episode?
Yeah, this past episode.
Okay.
This past episode that we've been discussing. I did watch it one more time just to make sure I didn't miss anything, and I wanted to make sure that I was totally up on any spooky things that had happened. I'll be honest, sometimes when things are dark and we've got our bright lights up, I can't see them all, so I just want to make sure that if there was something that was there that I missed, that I caught it.
For instance, we both missed the pandemic doctor mask thing until I was editing our reaction to it. So we didn't actually react to seeing it because we didn't see it.
Yeah.
The lights were, we had a glare.
We had a bit of a glare.
We hope we've rectified that. Rectified, right?
Rectified?
Right.
Solved.
This is going to make a bad joke. Anyway.
We fixed it.
We fixed it, we think.
Hopefully.
So we're going to watch episode 2 now. We're going to tell you what we think about it. And then you can jump down in the comments below and let us know what you thought about this episode as well.
Yep.
Before we do that, though, we want to thank you for being here. Be sure and like this video if you like this sort of content. If you're not already subscribed, do that. We've loved seeing that number tick up little bits at a time.
Yeah, we just passed 300.
Yeah.
And,
so welcome aboard, all of you who
we're
have joined
so
us. We
excited
appreciate
to have all of you here.
And as always, if you want to see the full reaction to this episode, you can do that on Patreon. The link will be in the description below. It's $5, gives you access to everything. The first episode's on there free, so you can go check it out now to see if you want to do it. And then if it seems like your bag, then jump in for the $5 a month and watch the rest of them.
Yep.
Anyway, without further ado, we're going to jump in and watch,
Yes.
and then we'll let you know what we thought, and you can tell us how wrong we are. Here we go.
Well, I forgive you. But I'm afraid I don't believe you. That's the issue.
The creepy dolly did it.
Mm-hmm. Miles!
What?
Now you'll finish mopping. while Flora and I go get her doll back.
I don't like the cellar. It's perfectly dreadful down there.
Perfectly.
Can I stay and have a glass of orange juice with Owen, please? I'm sorry. I'm not being cheeky or anything. It's just, I quite hate the cellar. It's perfectly dreadful.
Perfectly.
This is an interesting transition. Well, of course the light doesn't work. Why would it?
If Evil Dad taught me nothing else, it's don't go into the basement. Oh, look, it's standing up.
All by itself. That's not wrong at all.
No. Lots of other dolls down there.
Yeah.
Who I found. What's her name?
Did I see something moving there?
Oh, yeah, you did.
Oh, boy.
Wait, they're in England. Shouldn't his name be Kilometers?
Shush.
Let's settle down. Find our seats, shall we? And the unclean
This was my favorite class in elementary school, demonology.
and the herd rushed down the deep stope into the lake and were drowned there.
They needed permission, the demons,
Permission to...
to enter the pigs.
Ah, yes, they did.
Did they need it for him, though? Did they need it for the man?
So, yes. They did need his permission. Feel the need to talk. We'll listen.
Also, have you ever
You're
been in a
none of us
Turkish
alone,
prison?
driving.
Thank you, sir.
Well, I won't keep you.
I wonder what the bird's doing there.
Oh,
We just call them girls in America.
Hectares.
Green grape!
Oh, that has to be very slippery.
Yep.
Green grape!
Oh. He is... Is that his friend that had just...
Yeah?
Good Lord, why?
Break it up! Green grape! Green grape!
What is wrong with you?
Hooper! They're in a better place, Miles. I don't know everything, but I do know that much. They're in a better place.
They're not coming back.
No, they're in Texas. He said they're in a better place.
That's not fair either.
There's no such thing as fair.
Yep, fair does not exist.
Why did the bad ones get to come back?
Matt, is that you?
I don't believe Mr. Murdoch is a part of this.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was going to be. Poor Pidge.
Master Wingrave, is there anything you'd like to say? Anything at all?
Boogity boogity boo.
I have a mind to expel you, young man. I truly have. Speak!
Oh,
Hannibal is dead because of you, Wingrave.
That doesn't mean gone.
What did you say?
I'm sorry.
I know you are, Miles. I know that, and I also know that together you
I'm
and I...
sorry I didn't do worse. Cut off its head, spread out the insides, and burn it. I'm sorry, Father. I needed to find your key. That's all.
And so, the reason for Miles' expulsion was difficult to pin down. He was expelled, it turned out, for an injury, an accident, a crime, a fight, and finally, an affront. Why he'd done any of these things, no one would understand.
oh. Huh. Where was Flora? She was in the house. Did she not go to school? Get sent to school?
Once again, as with Hill House, there's fantastic acting from these children that they found.
Oh my gosh, yes. One thing I noticed in the first episode is that the dolls were echoing what was happening in some scenes. So I don't know if that house means anything. Kind of like Hereditary's house.
Span. Imagine you learned that at boarding school. Yeah, professional, I'd say.
What are you up to?
Hannah's got the day off, it seems.
And your missus put the children to church.
Yeah.
I put all your things into the wardrobe in chest of drawers.
No.
Are you cross with me?
No, not those glasses.
Because they're the ones we see shining back in the reflection, aren't they?
Break them.
Yep.
I promise.
Yep, this is exactly what being a teacher's like.
Yep. Yep.
So?
I'd like to apologise. For all of it. For locking you in the wardrobe closet. For the mess in the hall. All of it. But most importantly, for being such a child about it. Being around Flora, I sometimes forget myself.
Wow.
So we play little games to keep her from feeling sad. It's such a draining thing. Dealing with children.
Oh. Gross.
Yeah.
I'll talk to him.
But also his family pays you to raise.
3, 2, 1. Ready or not, here I come.
Yeah. Yeah. Ah. Oh, the Willow Whaley song.
It's the guy she saw up there.
Oh, jeez. Oh, okay.
Jesus, Miles.
Got you.
I'm supposed to be looking for you, and this wing
I'm
is all...
going to stop counting, and it'll be your time to run and hide. I'll find you.
Ease up. Ease up.
Reflection?
Yep. But not her, not the one that follows her around.
Nope.
I don't feel so good.
What? Oh,
What did you say?
I said, I think he said, I don't feel so good.
Okay, he's awake. He's awake. He's awake. He's awake.
All right, that was it for episode 2 of The Haunting of Bly Manor, called The Pupil. Got a little bit of Miles's backstory there.
Yeah, he is definitely weird. Like,
That's really an understatement. That's
it was,
great.
I mean, but how do you put it? It's like he is inappropriate. He is
Well,
bit sociopathic.
yes, if that's him.
If it's him.
When those things are happening, which is my question now.
Yeah, especially since that question that he asked the teacher, do you have to invite them in? And
Right.
did the man have to invite them in? So it's like,
So maybe there's some sort of possession thing happening.
Yeah.
If not possession, then maybe in some sort of influence that he doesn't really have as much control over.
But also, like, obviously devoted to his sister,
Right.
you know, to the point of doing awful things just to go home. And when he could very well have just said he wanted to go home.
Yeah,
But
although
then-
I don't know how that works in those sorts of situations. If you're being paid to hang on to a kid for a certain amount of time.
Yeah, maybe. But, like, there obviously is something going on with the sister. Like, you know, she's seeing things. She obviously, I feel like that's the girl under the doll under the dresser is the previous nanny. I'm just going to have to say nanny. I'm sorry. There's, you know, it's funny. There are some other YouTubers who, say, you know, can't say certain things. And I'm like, why not? And this is one that I can't say.
Okay, well, I mean, just think old pear, like an old fruit. Au pair.
Au pair. I'll have to get there. Anyway, I feel like it's like that's the old au pair, and you know, but she knows that there are other things going about in the house, so it's very. Of course, I want to know more, but I'm like, do I really? Because this is very creepy. So I don't know.
I think we certainly have more than one thing going on at a time. Mm-hmm. I think there's whatever happened to, and they may be related, but but they're not all necessarily driven by the same thing at the same time. So we've got the guy that we keep seeing in the window that has nothing to do with her past, not the glasses guy, but the guy who played her brother in the last series. We've got him and whatever he's up to and whatever influence he may or may not have on Miles. But then we also have, I'm convinced that Miles and Flora were trying to save her by putting her in the closet. I think they knew that something was coming and that if they didn't do something to keep her safe, and I think it had to do with that doll being out, it wasn't until she stepped on the doll and said something about it that they decided that she needed to go in that closet. I think they knew something was up, something was coming for her, and they were doing that to protect her. But the question is why and what, and then of course how is that connected, if it's connected, to the guy that she saw last episode and this episode.
And then we have the housekeeper who just continue. You know, she is very pleasant. Has even said out loud, "I'm very happy."
Right.
But just continues acting just not like a person.
But she also clearly wasn't afraid to come out of her room after dark, because she did.
Yes.
When the boy was in trouble.
Yes.
So yeah, lots of questions. I feel like more questions than answers at this point. We're only 2 episodes in. That's not that surprising.
Yeah.
But as with The Haunting of Hill House, I find that the way these episodes are filmed, I feel like I need to pay attention to everything. Like I feel like I need to look at every frame, and some of that is taking away from what's being said. So I find myself kind of moving in and out of focus on what's happening. And I think this, like Hill House, is going to be a series that will pay off on multiple viewings.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I just I don't know. I don't know enough. I don't have enough guesses right now as to where this is going. I feel like whatever the secret is with the guy that she was seeing outside the window and the guy that she saw on the parapet last week, I think whatever's going on with him, I want to say that the housekeeper is in on that side of things, that she knows. So is this the guy that she was talking about when she was talking about the former au pair?
Maybe.
And did maybe, was there more to that story than she told there? And then we've got the mysterious crack that only she saw. Well, we saw it.
We saw it, of
but
course.
She saw it. And then it wasn't really there.
And then we have the groundskeeper who, seems pleasant enough.
But she's a little overly about the roses. I mean, considering that, not that being paid by somebody means that they can just run over you, but she takes care of their garden. That's their, so they can kind of do with it what they want, you would think. But anyway.
But not like to the point of destroying it. But also, and then I'm also like little things like, where did those flowers that he gave her go? What did she do with them? And then, like, as creeped out as she was, or at least I feel like she should have been, I would have been like, let's not play an extra game tonight. Like, what was
right,
what
or
was that?
or that you would address that moment before it went any further.
Yeah.
Like, okay, Miles, gonna shoot straight with you. You ever do something like that again,
Yeah.
we're gonna have a problem.
Right. And she not only did she not, I mean, I get it that she's
because clearly he's mature enough to know what he's doing.
Yeah.
At least to some extent. If he's that mature, then he needs to be talked to with that level of maturity. Like, that's not okay.
But if you're saying that there might be some sort of possession thing happening, it could be that maybe it's that guy in the window that's like kind of reaching out through him, and then but she doesn't know that. So either way, she should address it because it's inappropriate. Yeah.
Right.
So it's all sorts of like, this is not the way people actually act. So,
but we also don't know what her trauma is and what she's dealing with,
right.
which may factor into why she's not addressing some of those things.
Yeah.
It may be pushing her into uncomfortable territory to face that moment and talk about that thing. We just don't know because we don't know her part of the story.
We don't know it yet. We'll get there. So I hope so. I hope we'll get there, because otherwise I'll be like, why did we even put that out there without answering the question?
Right.
So, but I have faith in these storytellers, because they did answer a lot of our questions with the Haunting of Hill House. So it's just patience, and we have to watch some more.
And here's what I like about this so far, and certainly Hill House, that they did not, these storytellers, like you said, from Mike Flanagan through the writing staff, they did not hold our hand and explain everything to us. They did not treat us like children. They told us a story and trusted us to pick up the pieces and the elements and put it together.
Yeah.
So much so that, on rewatching some of those episodes 3 and 4 times, I see something new every time. I see the depth that they put into each frame, whether it's something hidden in the frame or it's literally a connection between characters when, what this character's saying refers back to something that we saw them say in childhood that has a new meaning now that may have had that meaning when they were, so there are lots of depth in those stories, and they trusted us to get it without hand holding us through it. And I feel like this is the same thing. Like right now we're saying that there's more questions than answers, but I think that's because they're not hand holding us through it and explaining things to us. They're trusting us to eventually put the puzzle together for ourselves. And I like that.
I like that
in storytelling, for sure.
One more thing to pick up. What key is this kid talking about?
Yeah, I thought about that a little bit after he said it again.
Or the lock house?
Lock and key.
Lock
yeah,
and key. It's not that.
But as soon as he said it to the priest when he was being expelled, I was like, does he mean like the key to getting kicked out, the key to getting you to, like, it was all going to have to go through you. So I had to find the key to get you to think it was enough to send me home. That's a really simplistic take on it. Or it could be, referring back to the story about the possessed man and the pigs and like having access or whatever. So I don't know.
So maybe we'll find out more about even that. So.
Yeah.
Hard to say.
I'm very curious though, for sure. And we started off with a great episode, and I feel like this was a fantastic follow-up. It brought us more questions.
Yeah, and it definitely didn't feel 46 minutes long, that's for sure.
It really didn't. And so we are going to jump directly into episode 3. You can find that here next week. Every Friday we're dropping these, so be sure and be back with us next Friday to see us react to episode 3, which is titled The Two Faces Part 1. We'll see what that means, because there's no part 2.
Right. I was literally looking at the episode titles while you were talking earlier. I'm like, where's the Two Faces Part 2? I don't see that.
So I'm very curious, and we will be back to check that out with you. Again, if you want to see the full reaction, we have to cut this thing down for YouTube to be within fair use, timing and everything. But you can watch us react to the full thing. Just line us up with Netflix and do that. You can find us on Patreon. That link is down in the description. Until then, thanks for joining us for this, and we'll see you next time.
All right, bye.
Bye.